What's up, y'all? Today we gonna be reacting to a war video. Let's see how this video go.
Iran been invaded. For decades, the world's most powerful militaries have threatened it, sanctioned it, surrounded it, prepared for war, and most recently, on February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched direct strikes on Iranian targets. Yet, in the modern era, no foreign power has crossed Iran's borders and successfully taken control. Not the
That is kind of crazy.
United States, not NATO, not Israel, not even at moments when war looked inevitable. And this isn't because Iran is unbeatable. It's because invading Iran isn't a war. It's a trap. Every major power that challenged Iran learned the same lesson. Iran doesn't need to defeat you. Its geography does it for them. Mountains that break armies, deserts that kill logistics, seas that can choke the global economy. And as tensions around Iran rise again after
So it's kind of just like the United States.
these latest strikes, its location is no longer just protection, it's leverage. So today, we're not asking whether Iran is powerful. We're asking a more dangerous question. What happens when a country is too important to ignore and too difficult to defeat? To answer that, you don't start with politics. You start with the map. Iran sits in one of the most dangerous locations on Earth. It connects Europe, Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. For centuries, major armies didn't move around Iran. They moved through it. Romans, Arab caliphates, Ottomans, Mongols, British and Russian empires. Every major power eventually collided here. Modern Iran shares borders with 7 countries: Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan to the east, Iraq, Turkey, Armenia, and Azerbaijan to the west. To the north lies the Caspian Sea. To the south, the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Very few countries sit at the intersection of this many regions, roots, and rival interests. That alone guarantees attention. But Iran's most dangerous...
Do y'all think Iran would ever be attacked or invaded? Let me know in the comments down below. And what do y'all think about the Iran and Israel war and the United States? Let me know in the comments down below.
feature lies offshore. Just off Iran's southern coast sits the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow stretch of water barely wide enough for shipping lanes. And yet, around 1/5 of the world's oil shipments pass through it. Every major economy depends on this gap. Every navy monitors it. Every crisis makes it relevant again. Iran doesn't need to block Hormuz permanently. It only needs to threaten it. That threat alone can spike oil prices.
I heard they blocked it off. I don't know if they reopened it.
Rattle markets and force global powers to pause. Since the early 1970s, Iran has maintained control over several strategic islands near the strait, giving it surveillance, missile placement, and regional reach. This gives Iran leverage, but it also guarantees something else. Iran can never disappear from global calculations. Iran's geography doesn't just give it leverage, it gives it defense. Stretching along Iran's western and southern edges is the Zagros mountain range, a massive rocky barrier running from the Persian Gulf through Iraq and into eastern Turkey. These mountains are steep, narrow, logistically brutal. In 1980, Saddam Hussein believed he could cross them. Iraq invaded Iran, hoping to seize oil-rich Khuzestan and crush the Iranian Revolution before it spread across the Arab world. On paper, the plan made sense.
Do y'all think if they didn't have their mountains, they would have been gone? Iran, if they didn't have their mountains, they would have been gone. Let me know in the comments down below.
In reality, it collapsed. After 2 years, Iraqi forces failed to achieve a decisive breakthrough. They never crossed the Zagros in force. Supply lines stretched, momentum died. When Iran counterattacked, the war devolved into an 8-year stalemate. Hundreds of thousands were killed, and the border barely moved an inch. Iran survived, not because it was stronger, but because the terrain punished invaders faster than bullets could. To the north, the Alborz Mountains form another defensive wall along the Caspian Sea. Together, these ranges turn Iran into a natural fortress, and beneath them lies something else: resources. Iran's mountains don't just block armies, they hide wealth: uranium, zinc, gold, silver. Iran holds some of the world's largest known zinc reserves, buried inside terrain that's nearly impossible to occupy.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Then came the 20th century, and oil. Massive reserves were discovered near the Persian Gulf, transforming Iran into an energy giant. Today, Iran holds roughly 10% of global oil reserves and 15% of global natural gas reserves. But resources don't equal power on their own. Access does. Iran has nearly 2,500 kilometers of coastline.
That's crazy, man. I spent all these years in school and didn't even know this. This is crazy. But you learn something new every day.
Split between two strategic seas. Its largest port, Bandar Abbas, sits less than 70 kilometers from the Strait of Hormuz. Any war here wouldn't stay local. It would hit the global economy instantly, which makes invasion complicated. But let's say an enemy somehow breaks through the mountains. Another barrier awaits: the Dashti Kavir and Dashti Lut deserts, some of the hottest, most hostile terrain on Earth. Satellite data has recorded surface temperatures approaching 70 degrees Celsius in parts of the Lut Desert. Vehicles overheat, fuel evaporates, troops collapse. Sustained military operations here are nearly impossible. Iran isn't just protected by soldiers, it's protected by exhaustion. Before 1979, Iran wasn't America's enemy. It was one of its closest allies. The Shah's Iran was Western aligned, heavily armed, and among the earliest Muslim majority countries to recognize Israel in 1948. That changed overnight. The Islamic Revolution shattered the
That's crazy. Man.
old order. Ayatollah Khomeini repositioned Iran directly against Western influence and Israel. Diplomatic ties were cut, flights canceled. The Israeli embassy in Tehran became the Palestinian embassy. This shift terrified neighboring Arab monarchies. They feared the revolution would spread, threatening kings, oil dynasties, and entire political systems. That fear helped fuel the Iran-Iraq War, and it taught Iran a brutal lesson. If it wanted to survive, borders alone weren't enough. Iran is boxed in. Israel lies far away. Arab states sit in between. Direct confrontation is costly, so Iran adapted. Instead of exporting armies, it exported influence. Hamas in Palestine, Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Iraq, forces in Syria, Houthis in Yemen. Together, they form what Iran calls the Axis of Resistance, a network that allows Iran to apply pressure without fighting directly. When Israel strikes Gaza, rockets fly from Lebanon. When tensions rise in the Red Sea, shipping comes under attack. Iran doesn't fight head-on. It fights around. Geography forces it to. Iran's strategy is
That's smart. That's real smart. I ain't gonna lie.
asymmetrical. Cheap drones versus million-dollar missiles. Proxies versus armies. In 2024, Western navies fired missiles costing over $1 million to intercept drones costing less than $20,000. According to the U.S. Central Command, Iran possesses the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East, with ranges exceeding 2,000 kilometers. That puts Israel, U.S. bases, Gulf states, all within reach. Iran doesn't need to win a war. It only needs to make one too expensive to start. Today, Iran sits under overlapping pressures. Sanctions squeeze its economy. Its nuclear program remains opaque. Its proxy networks stretch across the region. Russia and China quietly provide diplomatic cover. And through direct control and allied forces, two global choke points, Hormuz and Bab el-Mandeb, sit within Iran's operational reach. That reality forces hesitation, because any direct war has risks. Energy collapse, regional explosion, global economic shock. Iran's geography doesn't guarantee victory, but it does guarantee uncertainty. And uncertainty is power. Iran wasn't shaped into a regional power by ideology alone. It was shaped by mountains that block armies, seas that carry oil, deserts that kill logistics, and choke points that frighten markets. Geography made Iran strong, but it also locked the country into permanent confrontation. As tensions rise again, one truth remains unchanged. Iran cannot escape its location, and the world can't escape Iran. Because in geopolitics, where you are often matters more than who you are. And Iran sits in one of the most dangerous places on Earth.
Let me know how y'all feel about this video in the comments down below. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe.